So here it is, guys. As promised, a much more in-depth look at the number 3 Vesper Martini. The number 3 Vesper Martini was developed by Alessandro Palazzi, who works as the head barman at Duke's, which is a hotel in St James. Now, Duke's has its own history when it comes to bonds, with Fleming purportedly coining the phrase "shaken, not stirred" at Duke's Bar in London. He's also supposed to have said that this is where James Bond would have had lunch with Bill Tanner. So, Alessandro's Martini is made up of roughly the same ingredients in approximately the same proportions as the regular Vesper. The main difference being the addition of the Angostura bitters. The first ingredient we're going to look at is the vodka. Now, being a Bond fan himself, it was important to Alessandro that the ingredients that he chose were there for a reason, over and above the fact that they just tasted good. This is evident with his first selection, which is Potocki Polish vodka. This he chose in honour of a real-life spy, the inspiration for Vesper Lind, who was actually Christine Granville, a wartime spy and Ian Fleming's lover. Next up, we have the vermouth. Now, Alessandro chose an English vermouth in honour of Mr. Fleming, and this vermouth was made especially for Dukes, which Alessandro created in conjunction with the Sacred Distillery. So this is an extra dry vermouth. It's rather spicy on the palate, has herbaceous undertones, gentle wormwood bitterness, which gives it a full 5-minute length on the palate. Now, you'll notice when we did the tasting that Rachel mentioned that the flavour really stayed in your mouth a long time, and this is down to that gentle bitterness that comes from that wormwood. All vermouths are wine-based, and this one is no exception. It's built on the backbone of an English wine from Three Quires in Gloucestershire. Although this martini contains vodka, it is a gin-based martini. And the gin selected is the number 3 gin, which was originally launched in 2010 by Berry Brothers and Rudd, who are in fact London's oldest wine and spirits merchant, with history dating back since 1698. Now, Berry Brothers and Rudd is a fantastic establishment, lots and lots of history there, well worth a visit, just for the experience of entering the shop and buying something from there, second to none, definitely worth a visit. They're also located in St James, and in fact the number 3 is their address. Number 3 is St James Street. Berry Brothers and Rudd have precise recipe specifications. The neutral grain spirit that is used as the base is infused overnight with juniper berries, orange peel, grapefruit peel, angelica root, coriander seeds, and cardamom, then traditionally distilled in copper pot stills. The final ingredient is the Angostura bitters. Now, Angostura was founded by Dr. Johann Sigrid and first produced the aromatic bitters as a medicinal tincture designed to alleviate stomach ailments. This was an incredibly long time ago, and the Angostura bitters has now obviously progressed into a staple for any cocktail cabinet. As well as the traditional, which is used in this drink, there are orange bitters and chocolate bitters. I would highly recommend you get each one and do some experimenting with each. You can get some fantastic flavours from them. I also found by doing some research on the website that they can be added to foods to add another depth of flavour. Now, I promised you that we'd leave no stone unturned, and this is an in-depth review. So next up, we're going to look at the label. This was designed by artist Justin Zoll, where the cocktail is crystallized and scientifically photographed at 40 times magnification to capture each microscopic element of the drink, which provides, as I'm sure you'd agree, a beautiful abstract design for the label, which is relevant and specific to the drink itself. I really recommend this. The flavor profile is fantastic. It's got a depth of flavor that you rarely experience with most drinks. If you're a fan of the traditional Vesper Martini, then this one is a step above. It's beyond what you get with the traditional Vesper. So head over to Masters of Malt, Berry Brothers and Rudd, or Selfridges, and order yourself a bottle today. That's all from me at Drinks with Bond. Cheers!